Welcome back to the Michigan Business Beat, brought to you on the Michigan Business Network, and we are on the Hill, so to speak. We are at the policy conference put on by the Detroit Regional Chamber of Commerce, and everybody who's anybody, we say this all the time, are here, and here you are. You are everybody. Debbie Stabenow, U.S. Senator. It's very good to see you. You look great, by the way.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Good. Yeah.
So you were part of a pretty major announcement out here on the porch.
Yes, we were. This is so important, this infrastructure bill that we were able to get done, bringing together Republicans and Democrats. And the governor laid out on her end sort of the streamlining of the process to make sure every single dollar we've brought in, every federal dollar is going to go where it ought to go. But with the Secretary of Transportation here as well, we talked broadly about this is not only roads and bridges and water systems, which is critical and so on, but we're now defining high-speed internet as infrastructure, which we know it is.
And it so is.
It is so, and we saw during the pandemic. And so now we're talking about really wiring, high-speed internet for all of Michigan. And then the other thing is electric charging stations, which are critical. If we're going to move forward and people are going to be confident on a new electric vehicle, they've got to be able to charge it. And the other thing that hasn't been talked about a lot in there is efforts I worked on to get about $8 billion for battery and materials related to battery infrastructure, research development, what we're going to do to make sure that we've got the batteries for electric vehicles.
Hey, were microchips snuck in there at all?
Well, we have a separate bill. Boy, talk about chips. We have a bill we actually passed a year ago in the Senate. It's now passed the House. They're negotiating differences out. That's an American Competes Act that is going to be the second huge boost for the United States. And part of that is a $52 billion investment in chips facilities, what they call fabs, fabrication facilities. And we need to make those here. I mean, when everything, closed down because of the global pandemic, all of a sudden this just-in-time supply chain globally didn't look so good when over half the chips were coming from one company in Taiwan.
Yeah.
And so I've been saying for a long time, we need to be making things in America and having resiliency and the jobs that come with it. And now that's what's happening, is that we need to produce things here.
Well, it's interesting because for a long time we were just chasing pretty much the cheap labor market,
Exactly.
Well, that's gone away because technology, automation, there aren't any more people in their factories than there are in ours.
Right, exactly. And so now the question is, are we going to leverage and have the technology developed here, have the jobs here, and be able to count on those parts when we need them or not? And it's everything. Of course, we think of manufacturing and the semiconductors, and it's not just our great automobiles. It's washing machines. When I talk to Whirlpool in Michigan about all their appliances and so on, all the chips that are involved and so on. So this is all about computer technology and what we're going to need to move forward. But we also have all kinds of input costs. There are only 4 fertilizer operations in the country, and the raw materials, a lot of them come from overseas, and we start talking about the cost to farmers, the cost to food, all these things. So the combination of supply chains breaking down plus consolidation, only 4 big meat packing operations in the United States. It's all these things, and we're seeing what happens when you don't have smaller regional operations, the competition, the supply chains break down, and that's the whole effort going on right now to put that back together.
Well, and you look at the whole geopolitical circumstance on the planet and you say, why are the Russians getting invested in Africa? Well, it's because a lot of where these raw materials come from.
Oh, that's right. And we have the capacity to do lithium mining much more in the United States, but haven't been doing it. President Biden has used the Defense Production Act now to open up and focus more on doing our own mining, getting our own raw materials. There's only one nickel mining facility. It's actually in the UP in Michigan.
It is. It's absolutely right. Hopefully the spotted owl will not take up residency there.
Yeah,
that'll
exactly.
close it. All right, so listen, I did not want to get off too much into this direction, but Russia. What are we doing with Russia and the Ukraine And it seems to be causing more across the aisle, cooperation.
Oh, no question. I think when it comes to Ukraine, this is all hands on deck to support Ukraine to have what they need to fight their war. The president of Ukraine, I've met with him via Zoom multiple times. He's not asking us to come in and fight his fight. He's asking us for all the weapons and the tools that they need to fight their fight. And we're doing that. I mean, we're absolutely doing that. And so they're fighting their fight, but it's also our fight in the sense that fighting Russia about protecting their democracy really is about protecting democracy for us and around the world as well. So we have a stake in what they're doing. And the broader sense, I mean, it's horrible what they've been doing. It is war crimes in my mind. I mean, the death and destruction is unbelievable. I don't think we have seen that level of purposeful, attacks on hospitals and schools and child care centers that were meant to kill people. We haven't seen that, certainly, in my adult lifetime.
Have we figured out the reason for the attack at all? I mean,
I think, first of all, he thought that, and I don't know this for sure, but I think he thought it was going to be easy.
Take it in 3 days. And
going to go in. He took Crimea, and he totally underestimated the spirit and the will and the courage of the Ukrainian people and their new president, totally. And I don't know. I mean, I think he's he's got a lot of serious issues here. If you're willing to do what he's willing to do to massacre people.
Well, I think he's got to figure out a way out pretty quick, or he's going to be in trouble himself.
I think
Actually,
so too.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
U.S. Senator Debbie Stabenow, I have to tell you, I cherish our time together, and I've cherished our friendship over the years.
Thank you for your leadership all these years on small business.
Don't say how many years.
It's only been a few years. All right.
U.S. Senator Debbie Stabenow, and we are coming to you from the Policy Conference on Mackinac Island. You're watching the Michigan Business Beat on the Michigan Business Network. I'm Chris Holman. We'll be right back.